Okay, like I said, we need to find the element. We need to input it in the search box. So we need to find the element for search box and then create it. So by dot id, and what's the id we've just copied? Yeah, and that's the id. So here, when we find the element by search box, and what we want to do search box, what we want to do first, we want to clear it. So if there's any text in it before, it's gonna get cleared. Clear, and then what we do next, then we impute. All right, so like I was saying, the for this input search text, we would it would take a variable, and that variable would be whatever I want to search. So we can call that variable search item. All right, so that will be it should be a string search item. So now, so when we find the element, first thing we want to do, like I said, is clear the element dot clear, and then the other thing we're gonna do is then to send keys. Find element again. What are we finding? Search box, the same element. And what we do this time is send keys. Send keys means you want to type into it. And what that does is first initially it does that, and then it sends keys. What do we want to send into it? We want to put the search item in it. All right. So, my recommendation for any time you're going to be using the an element more than once is to actually put in a variable, set it as a variable. So we're going to be using the iWeb element to store this. So the way you have a data type like int and a string and all that, that's the way we have a data type for web element locator as well. So my recommendation is store this locator in a web in a data type. So I can say iWeb element, and we can call it search locator equals to this. So anytime we want to use it, all we then do is call it. Okay. So anytime we want to use it, we can simply just say search locator dot clear, and then also, so we don't have to find it again, we can just say search locator dot send keys. All right, so that will automatically write in that, and then it would input the search item in it. Okay, so that's that for the page for now. So the next thing we're going to be doing is now going back to our steps definition and filling all the gaps in. So what this would do, it would then allow our step definition to be able to communicate and pull, and so everything can communicate with each other. So what I'm gonna do now, I'll go to our steps. You can see we need to fill all these steps in. Once we filled all that in, then everything should be able to communicate and we should be able to run our tests. Okay, so what we're gonna do, so this is public. What we're gonna do first in this one is also bring in our iWebDriver. First, bring in our context class. We're gonna bring in all the classes that we need. So context, declare the variable context underscore context. Let's make it private. Private context underscore context. You can see that squiggly line again, and it's going to ask me to import that location, which is setup folder. Then private. So we also need functions within the pages, which is the home page. So I'll say context home page underscore home page. You can see that squiggly line again, and it's going to ask us. We don't need the WebDriver here in this one because we're simply calling all the functions. So we're just going to ask us, and we're going to import this as well, pages. Okay, so also then we need to now create a constructor, and then within the constructor we need to inject both context and home page. Context, context, home page, home page. And then we do underscore context equals to context underscore home page equals to home page. So now we can use all the functions we need within home page and context now as we stand. So the first thing we're going to do is fill in the functions for this. So the first question is a user is on the home page. So how does a user go to the home page? We call context start application on the test. Okay, the other one, and the user clicks on the search link. So where's the search link? Home page dot impute the click on search link. Yeah, we call that method, and that's it. The next step, when user types in Nigeria, so what we need to do, we can, because we need to parameterize this, we need to replace it with something so that you can make it like a test data. So what we do for that, so what we're going to do, we're going to parameterize this so that we can always change the value for whatever we want to search. So I'll do dot that and there. So if I go back to the feature file and I save this, the page, and I save this, you would see that it would have parameterized it. I use Nigeria. Okay, let's give it a try. Steps. User types in the search box. So after saving that, you can see it's parameterized this, so we can always change this value and it will use it in the text. Okay, so now and user types in, and what we've got a method as well in page for that. So if I say we call page dot, and that is input search text method, that would take a string search item and put search item here. Okay, so that string, because in the method you can see that it requires a string. You can see in the home page, this takes an input and it takes an input of search item. Okay, all right. So here it says user clicks on the search button. Okay, so we haven't declared that again, so we need to go back to home page. So search button, go back to the application under test. So so after typing in, this is search button. So we inspect again.